With me always is the punk rock brother man, Mr. Johnny Noise.
Hey, Mr. China, we got a really cool show for you tonight. Um, I ran across this particular individual literally on Facebook. Go figure that. But just amazing vocalist and a performer. And I'll let Henry do the introductions, and we'll get right into this.
Tonight, our special guest is the very talented Miss Jen X. How you doing, Jen?
Welcome to the
Great. How are
show.
you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, jumping right into it, um, what inspired you to sing? Because you've got some killer pipes on you, I'll tell you that.
So, it's something that I apparently have just always done. My mom likes to tell the story that apparently I used to sing Delta Dawn at the top of my lungs when I was
Oh,
like two
wow.
years old. And so she has always said she knew in that moment that that's, what I was going to do.
Wow. Delta Dawn. That's
Yeah.
reaching back. Was that from like, I don't even think Casey Kasem had Delta Dawn on. That's going back.
Well, so
Wow.
I'm 42, so I'm not super young, but
Yeah,
I
you're still a kid.
so my parents were entertainers and musicians as well.
Wow. Okay.
And so I grew up around musicians my whole life.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Hmm.
So you have the curse too, because my my biological father was a concert pianist. He played piano and the big organs and stuff in New York. So I'm cursed myself with this whole thing, and it's
What you
unfortunately.
mean cursed? I gotta know what that means.
Well, it's when I say curse, it's a good thing, I guess. I look at it from a positive thing. Is I guess being a performer and musician and having that drive and the motivation to do all this stuff, but and I can't put it down. It's like I can't, so I'll never go away from this stuff. Some
Yeah.
people get to the point of, okay, look, I'm done. I did what I did. And then thank you very much. Everybody does the applause, and yet no, I am. I mean, my dad was in his 80s and he was still performing plays down in Florida, So I know and if I'm going to follow in his footsteps, I got a long way to go, So I figured I might just enjoy the ride, But that's what I kind of jokingly say I'm cursed,
Yeah.
because it's
No, I get it.
you're hooked on this thing and to performing the live performances, which just I get a rush off of doing that, and then doing then this whole platform that Henry and I kind of got started is another thing that just really um, for me it's really fun, and we meet a lot of really cool people, just like yourself, and we had no idea that we would have the opportunity to, meet and talk to so many different artists from all over the place.
Yeah.
The United States, Canada. We're working on the UK right now. I get some folks on, and it started going. So, like you said, it's a platform for us to kind of ham it up and then let people express themselves like you and tell everybody what you're doing, what you have going on, and it's really really cool. I got this is so awesome that we have a chance to do this.
Absolutely. So just kind of, I guess, well, it might not be short because I'm very long-winded. But anyways,
A
um, like I said, I grew up to entertainer parents, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with Branson. Back in
little
the
bit.
90s when I was growing up, it was like the live country music capital of the world. So like some of
Hmm.
the older generation artists came down here, opened up music theaters, and then people would come for the live entertainment. So I have technically been performing in Branson since I was 5.
Oh wow.
And into my teenage years. So I grew up dancing and singing. I worked for like Jim Stafford and Dino. Anyways, so that was all I knew growing up. And then I went through some personal struggles as I got older, and I had my kids, and so I had stopped really performing professionally and live for like 20 years. So this
Wow.
was the start of my kids are older now. And so now I'm finding my way back to music. But the point of me telling you that is watching what I grew up with as a kid, and just kind of understanding a little bit about the music industry back then versus where we are now, like it has changed, and I've been able to see that in this without all the in between. And so it's crazy. And one of the cool things about that is being able to connect globally like that so easily
Right.
is just as wild.
hmm It is. It's so much different, especially when I did it, because I'm quite a bit older. But you know, there was no nothing. There was no computers. But
Right.
and now at a click of a button, potentially could be seen by anybody.
Yeah.
So it's kind of surreal in a
Mhm.
way, and I don't know how you feel about it. It does take a little bit of something away from like the instant gratification is there, but sometimes having to wait a little bit, and putting out your posters and flyers manually and doing, the only way people can hear you is
Oh,
with a live show. I think something in that, that crossover, there was something a little bit lost for me in that,
for
and
sure.
I'm grateful to have the instant, go out there and here we are and put out stuff. But uh the anticipation when I did shows back in the late 70s and 80s and stuff, um, was a big part of, the pre-show anticipation was huge. Just and now that's kind of gone because now you just click, here we go, instant instant rock star or whatever you want to call it. So but yeah, on the positive side is you get to reach a lot of people really,
Absolutely.
really, really, really quick. Really,
But
really quick.
it has a disconnection in the
hmm
personable about it, it's,
hmm
you don't get to
So
have, it's a different type of networking, I guess is the best way
correct.
to say it.
Correct. Right. It is. And it is useful. And Henry and I definitely appreciate all the platforms that we're on. For sure.
Oh yeah.
Um, and we're grateful to have met some really amazing people that we've never in a million years would have the chance to talk to or meet or and like people like yourself to come on the show. It's just we're taking with, okay, this is really some good stuff, and we so that's why we kind of do this. But Henry has probably a few questions. I
Sure.
ramble a lot too, obviously from New Jersey, as you're gonna hear, so I gotta throttle back myself. But Henry, I know you got some questions, so let's kick it off.
All right. Well, yes, John and I are very, very appreciative, and we do meet a lot of great people. So, um, but so you personally, like, who are some of your big influences?
Oh, that's such a tough question for me. And I'm going to try to get better at answering it because like I said, like music, I feel like is genuinely in my bones. I probably sing every day. I sing talk sometimes. It's just like it's just who I am. And I genuinely get depressed when I'm not expressing myself in that way. And that's why I go to karaoke a lot.
hmm
Um, before I started this journey. And so for me, I'm like, everybody is my influence because I love music so much. And it's really hard to pick who my favorites are.
Hmm.
But I'm trying to get better at that. So growing up and being, I guess, like classically trained in country, back then it was all the ballad singers, Martina McBride, Faith Hill,
Mm,
um, great female artists. But I also loved, Celine Dion. Celine Dion's probably one of my favorite vocalists of all time. Of course, I loved Whitney Houston. And when it came to the rock scene, um, I guess my bigger ones would be, Evanescence or Flyleaf. They were a
mm.
different type of rock, and I love the hard rock and the heavy metal, early 2000s. So that's, I guess those are my influences.
kind of the gist of it. Yes. I, speak about Celine, and when you said Celine, even someone from my kind of punk roots. Um, my wife got tickets. We went to Vegas for our 10th anniversary, and so anyway, she goes, "We're gonna go see Celine Dion," and I'm rolling my eyes, going, "Oh God!" Because the whole Titanic thing, and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna hurt so bad." That's what I was thinking,
Hmm.
and she was incredible
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
Totally, I mean, the hair on the back of my neck was like, I was like, oh my god, this is really. She was really, really incredible. What it was an awesome show. She did a few duets, went up, but anyway, so yeah. So for me to be a like a punk rock guy, yeah, I saw Celine Dion too. So it's you gotta, but yeah, she's a heavy hitter. She's
Well,
definitely a heavy hitter.
and that's why I say a great artist is more than a song. It's more than a
Hmm.
lyric. It's more than a melody. It is an experience, and she is an experience. And there are so many
Oh
artists
man.
that are just a great experience, and that's
Hmm.
what it's all about. And I like to think I kind of try to create that. One of the
Hmm.
things growing up when I was a kid, doing the shows here, because I was doing 2 shows a day, six,
Wow.
7 days a week growing up.
Wow.
So I performed in front of lots of people. Um,
Hmm.
and I did the Titanic song. It's funny that we say that, but yeah, I
No.
was doing the Titanic song. And so
Yay! Raise the roof.
after I finished My Heart Will Go On, they would raise the lights a little bit and I could see the audience members or whatever. And like I would make audience members cry. And when I was a kid, that
Wow.
was
Wow.
so weird to me. I didn't quite understand
Yeah.
why that was happening. But so I've kind of been told I do have that ability to connect with people in that way to bring out strong emotions. And that's part of the experience. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've viewed a lot of your stuff prior to, and you know, some of the, like I said, you do your karaoke stuff to kind of keep your chops going and whatnot, and some of the songs that I'm like, this is a big song.
yeah.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
this isn't, yeah. This isn't some mid level. Okay, we can muddle through this in a karaoke bar. No, 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 no. You went up. I was like, this is a really big song. So you definitely have the ability and the chops. I was like, can she do this? And I was like, oh Jesus, yeah, hell yeah. I was like, wow. Besides the other stuff, we'll get into that later. But yeah, like I've seen uh, uh you know a few of your karaoke clips, and you don't joke around. So
No, I
it's some
don't.
heavy
But
duty stuff. Yeah.
edits do help. Let's just be real.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. But but you don't play it safe. Let's put it that way. You
No, I'm
go,
not. I'm definitely not afraid to try.
no, go big or go home type thing.
Yeah.
So wow, wow, that's awesome. But Henry, let me get it back over to you. I know you have some questions, brother.
All right. This next one's kind of well, I'll just come right out and say it. I There's a reel that you have where you're in I believe it looks like a stairwell, and you're singing, and it's just so beautiful. Like it sounds like if a beautiful painting came to life. What is it about singing in the stairwell that does like does that inspire you? How does it make you feel? Do you do it just for the ambiance of sound, or is it all of the above?
So that was in one of the Capitol buildings. I don't know which one you watched, but originally I started in the Missouri Capitol building. So I
Oh wow.
have just always had a huge passion for singing the national anthem. It's my way of giving back the best way I know how, to thank the members, of our military. And I was actually in Missouri. There was a local wrestling um, company that had picked up one of our songs as the theme song for their show.
Oh
And
wow.
I came and opened the show with the national anthem. So while we were in town, I'm big on history. I love history, and it's important,
Oh cool.
for
Yeah.
our kids to be involved in history too. So I had my kids with me, so we decided to go check out the Capitol. And I kept talking about how I needed to rehearse all day, you know. And so when we were in there and the acoustics came
I was
out,
about
you
to
know, of
say, yeah.
course, my husband was like, "Oh, you need to practice in here." And it's so easy. Well, it's not easy. I still get nervous when I get up on stage, but I am more used to it, I guess. But when I just randomly am singing in public, like that's a lot of nerves for me. And so at first I was like, absolutely no, I'm not doing this. But they, you know, they coaxed me into it. And so I said, okay, let's just do it, you know. And so I did that video, uh, not really knowing what to think, and just threw it on TikTok. But the feedback that I got was just so amazing. Like I was genuinely blown away by the reactions that people were having.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
and and it's gonna make me cry, and grateful, you know. It's like
Yeah.
it's just awesome. But so I've kind of decided that that going forward, should I find a show in another place with the state capital, I'm just gonna go do it in all the state capitals.
Oh,
So here's here's hoping I travel all 50 states, you know.
right.
But
Right.
so I did do a
Wow.
second one in Nebraska last month at the state capitol.
Oh,
So
oh, cool, cool. And thank you for mentioning the military. I'm retired from the Navy myself, so I did
thank
22
you for your
years. And
service.
oh, thank you, and I appreciate you recognizing everybody, because it's depending on where you live. I know here, like in the South and stuff like that, it's a very big thing being a veteran. Where other states are like, you're just another pain in the neck, veteran guy, whatever. But I know here, like in Alabama, Tennessee, and stuff like that, um, I'm treated differently. So I have disabled veterans tags on all my vehicles, stuff like that, and then people always stopping me and say, that's your car? I said, yeah, and they were shaking my hand. So it's nice. Not
Yeah.
that I did anything spectacular. I wasn't with SEAL Team 6 or anything, but anyway, but
It's a
but
lot of sacrifice, and
it
people
is,
don't
it
understand
is,
how much sacrifice it
yeah,
is, really.
yeah, it is. But and on the other side of the coin, it allows me to work part time and do this and
Yeah.
talk to people like you, which is even better. So it works out pretty cool. But yeah, I saw a few of those clips as well. I was about to say, when Henry said that, the first thing that popped in my head was like, acoustics. You're in the stairwell because of acoustics. You
Yeah, they
know,
got cool acoustics. Both of them really had really
yeah,
cool acoustics.
yeah, yeah. You look at like the movie, like the Jersey Boys, and when they were singing in the church, well, that was all for the acoustics. Whether or not that was
Mhm.
staged or not, I'm not sure. But anyway, that was the whole premise behind that. But yeah, uh, uh, stairwells are good, because your voice is echoes. It's like having
Yeah.
your own, so it's really cool. But yeah. Anyway, before I go crazy, go nuts, let me kick it back over to Henry, because he's got some other questions for you.
All right. So I just found out that you're in, or we just found out that you're in two different bands. Tell us about Generations first, and then tell us about your other band.
Okay. So like I said, growing up in Branson, I grew up doing country music my whole life. But I love rock. It's such a huge core of my being. It's mostly what I listen to. And but I just never thought that that was something with my vocals that I would be able to do. Um, and so when we started this project, I'm like, "Are you sure you want me?"
Hmm.
But and so I went up and I auditioned, and honestly, I was just blown away by the band in general, because they're just very talented. And they were so supportive and encouraging, and we're just like, let's do this. So we did. And it's been such a cool process. They also had the other band as well, and they kind of let me listen to some of the music on that too, and I really liked that, and I felt like it was different than the other band, so I was just like,
Hmm.
well, I'll do that one too if you want. And so so we
Wow.
decided to
Wow.
do both. And but at first, with the same tone, because I'm the same singer, I was just worried that it was going to wind up sounding the same. But to me, it's not. And I resonate differently with both of them as well, which is so weird how that worked out. So with Generations, it's heavier on the heavier side, and
Hmm.
it's kind of, we settled, I think, in alt metal is where we're going, but it definitely has more of a present Gen X and creative side of me is how I resonate to that one more so. The other one is Cognition, and it's it's more hard rock than heavy.
Hmm.
Um, and I almost feel like it has a country undertone to it.
Oh, okay.
So it actually speaks more kind of, I feel like, to my roots. So it's like past Gen X, future Gen X, you know? um, so yeah, it's just been a really cool journey at how everything has come out too.
Now, the I saw a few songs that you did in a studio. Is that correct? The
Yeah.
studio
Oh
cuts,
yeah.
and let me tell you, yeah. 'Cause that's I think that's what the first thing that kind of crossed over. I'm like, okay, let me, because I get a lot of stuff on my feeds all the time, and you're always kind of like, okay, you're click, 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 and you just go and try to, I'm like, this has got something going on. This and this
Oh,
this
that's
is what
cool.
started to. This is why we kind of reached out to you, and I do reach out to a lot of folks. I'm like, this is some good stuff. So and it's a little bit on that alternative kind of style, So you definitely had me hooked. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, we get something's going on here. So I immediately got with Henry. I said, okay, we got to research this to see what's happening. So, but yeah, it's a little harder, a little on that. I don't want to say punk, but kind of a new wave-ish punk, alternative type sound to it. So,
Yeah,
and
I feel like it's very different. What we're doing is very
mhm,
different, I feel like. We're not we're not really trying to sound like anything in particular. Um, we have just come into this and given each person, I feel like, their own creative space to say, this is who I am as an artist. This is how the music should sound to me,
mhm.
and we've put the pieces together and it just kind of created something really cooler. So I think,
Well, yeah, it is cool because
It
you're
is.
here. You're here with
yeah.
us, so it has to be cool. Trust me.
Yep.
Trust me. Yeah, it's I thought it was anyway. So I think you guys have uh, you delve into something that has in my humble opinion, has some really good potential to do something. Uh, so when you hit Nashville or what, you have to let us know. So so
Yeah.
we
Oh,
can
for sure.
so
Like
we can we can
that's a
get
goal.
out there.
Nashville's a goal. So
Yeah, you're not that far off the mark. You can make Nashville. So
yeah.
yo, yeah, yeah, yeah. But Henry, what else you got, brother?
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, when John told me, you know, that he had you lined up as our next guest, so I started doing research, and I was just blown away. I was like, I texted John immediately after watching the first couple of reels, and I was like, yeah, Gen X has
That's
got
really
some pipe.
awesome.
I was I was I was like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was blown away. I was really blown away. But so being in two different bands, is it hard to is it like a different mindset for the two? Because you do want them to sound a little different, but is it hard to separate the two to get into that different kind of mindset, or is it just something that comes naturally when you're in one spot and then you're over here in another spot?
Yeah, I think it just comes naturally. Like I said, because I resonate with both of them, even though I resonate differently. Um, so yeah, I mean, I love the fact that I have both. It adds a little extra fun.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Well,
Do you
you're
have?
you're
Oh, go ahead, John.
no,
Go ahead.
no. Go ahead, Henry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, do you have any standout moments so far with either band when you've played out live that you know any standout moments with either one of those bands?
So we do a lot of cool, well, a lot of interesting stuff with that I think is cool with some of our timings, some of our stops and transitions and stuff like that. And there was one in particular. We did a live show and it cuts off and then we come back in. But so the whole crowd like immediately started clapping at that cut. And then we came back in and it was like the reaction was priceless. And then in that moment, I'm like, okay, this is why we put this in there. But that was a cool moment. And it's a cool moment when I start seeing, some of the people who are starting to know the music, kind of singing along with us on some of our hooks. Like that's a cool feeling. I just love performing, in general. Uh, it's so weird because I'm an anxious person in general. Um, but when I'm on the stage, for me in those moments, it's like that's when I'm the most calm. So I have like this peace, this calmness when I'm performing that I don't have in daily life. So I love meeting new people. I love seeing all the venues. I love watching all the other bands. And how creative everybody is. That's my favorite part, is the creativity. I love it so much. And that's one of the great things about the underground too, is there's not only is there so much music out there, but there is so much good music out there.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And what what I kind of like about it as well is, you know, no one's really like pretentious. Everybody's really grounded. We've shared equipment before with different bands. I have some guys came out and opened up for us and had some issues. Like, yeah, I said, yeah, use my amp, use my pedal board. Had no, and they were just like, oh my god. So it's like, who am I? Come on, plug in. We got what, use our equipment, no problem. But there is that kind of family feel to it. You know what I mean? Everybody's trying to claw their way through
Camaraderie.
this thing, and none of us have roadies to come pack our stuff up. We're all just sweat equity. Sound check at 5 o'clock, and then the venue closes at 3 a.m. and you got to wait to pay everybody out. It's a long day,
Oh,
So
for sure.
yeah, yeah, and that's the reality of it too. When you're doing these live venues, is it's a full on thing. There is no sleep. I mean, literally, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And then you're so piped. So pumped up, you're one up at the damn like
Yeah.
the Waffle House or something with the whole crew. It was like 5 o'clock in the freaking morning, and that's looking, and people are there like, the hell's going on with you guys? Because everyone's still in all the get ups and stuff. It's like, and you just crashed the Waffle House. We've had a couple of stairs when we were down in Macon, Georgia, like 20, 30 people. It's like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, you're right. There is that camaraderie, and you meet so many different artists that you would have never had a chance to meet. And you're like, wow, this is some cool stuff. And then you have to support each other as well. But
Absolutely.
yeah, and it's such a cool scene.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I'm wrapped up in it, and it's just something that I'll always be a part of, I think. So, but I think it's awesome that you guys are doing that for sure. Have you had any kind of expounding on this? Have you had any kind of weird stuff happen? Like, we have people like jump on stage or grab a mic, some kind of wacky stuff at a smaller venue. It was like, what the hell just happened? And you just keep on playing through it, even though something totally crazy just happened.
Well, I mean, we have made it through some some interesting sound experiences. One of the shows, the mix did not get set up properly, and we couldn't hear each other. I couldn't hear myself. We couldn't hear anything. It was dead quiet on the stage.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I was literally panicking the whole time because it was just
Mm.
so quiet. But we just did our thing. And surprisingly, when we listened back to the video, like, I was so proud that you couldn't tell. And I couldn't believe that
Yeah.
you couldn't tell, because afterwards they were talking about how they were panicking the whole time too, but I think it speaks to I guess maybe our own talent or our own just consistency, that you're
Right.
able to play it together some kind of way without even hearing each other.
Yeah, it is. It's tough. Some of the venues that I've played as well, it's like you can't hear really the what's going on with anybody else, especially if your monitor is like right in your face. So you just have
Yes.
to know where you are. You know, uh, otherwise you're in big trouble. You know,
Yeah, for
so
sure.
you know, yeah, yeah. But that's the fun of it, though.
It
That's when
is.
you're
Always.
breaking
Every
it in. You
show
don't
is an
know every
experience.
show. It's like what's going to happen now. We wound up on the same frequencies with our wireless systems with somebody else, and I was like, what, why am I going through this? I was like, what the hell's going on? You're changing your frequency on a wireless thing, and I was like, oh my god. But but yeah, I get it. I get it. It's a cool journey, but expect the unexpected. If
Absolutely.
you can stay flexible, you can have a good time. So that's the
If it
way.
all
That's
goes
just
great, then you're like, something's
yeah.
wrong. What is happening?
What's going on? It went too smooth.
Now I'm
What happened?
questioning. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody fell. There was nobody drunk jumped on stage. Everything went too cool. I was like, what's going on? Yeah, let's say it's just such an awesome experience, and I'm glad that you guys are having a good time doing it.
Oh, having
For
a
sure.
blast.
Oh,
Living my
well,
best life right now.
yep, yep. You have to. You have to. You
Yeah.
know, you just keep on doing what you're doing. So, but Henry, let me get back over to you for some more questions.
All right. So take a look here. So, do you have any releases from both bands? Like, where can people go to uh, hear the music?
So we are on all the major platforms. We also, Generations does have a website, www.generations.com. Still working
I
on
saw that.
Cognition's website, but you can find our music there as well. Generations currently has 3 releases out, and Cognition
Hmm.
has 2. We are doing an album for both bands, and we're hoping to have both albums released by the end of this year. That's the goal.
Oh,
Oh, that's
cool.
awesome. That's awesome.
So,
Any plan for vinyl?
about to say, yeah,
We have talked about it. Yes, I think that's the plan as well.
And
yeah,
that would be awesome. That would be
yeah.
really really awesome. So,
I,
um, yeah. Well,
It's
I
gonna
gotta
be a
admit,
very cool album. Every song, especially on Generations, has just I feel like every song has just been so different. They're all so
mhm.
different, and as we're writing, they're just evolving differently as well. So I think it's just gonna be a really cool album.
Yeah. I think vinyl um, is really coming back. Uh, for me personally, uh, people want something tangible other than something on their computer screen. I think that's getting a little bit, you know, it's great to have the music on there and your Spotify account, but people want that CD or that album. Is vinyl's coming back. They want to have the artwork. They want to put it on their wall. Even if they don't play it, they might play your music on the computer or Spotify, whatever. But they want that tangible piece of something. So I think it'd be a good idea to put out if you guys can do it. Put out some kind of vinyl, even an LP. Throw 4 songs in an LP. It's not as expensive. Get your artwork together. I think it would do pretty good. I would definitely want an autographed copy if you guys did that for sure. So we'll
Very
hold you
cool.
to
me too.
we'll hold you to
Yeah.
that one. Um, but
Me too.
yeah, yeah. My studio is covered with all kinds of stuff from different bands and all kinds of vinyl stuff. Well, Henry's got the ultimate room there. He has no more
Yeah,
room on the
got a lot
walls.
of-
He need,
Yeah.
he needs an outbuilding, I think, to move into. He's got to move into like one of those containers or something at this stage. He's got so much stuff. But we're very fortunate that the amount of memorabilia and the stuff that's been sent to us,
Yeah.
and we're like, wow. But there is something about it. There is something that to have a physical copy of something, I think it'll resonate with your fan base for sure if you can get something in their hands. If that makes any kind of sense.
Oh no,
But
absolutely. I think that
yeah.
a lot of the old, I guess I shouldn't call them old ways, but I guess they're old ways,
Hmm.
are coming back around. I think
Hmm.
with where the music industry has headed, that people definitely miss a lot of the old ways. And so I think that's
Hmm.
where some of us that are, just starting out right now, like with the price of tickets, I think people are going to start gearing towards kind of going to check out local music scene. I think there is a resurgence
Hmm.
for the local music scene. And
Right.
yeah, so, and in that way, we're going to benefit from that as well.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt about that. Yeah, I think the local for us here, the clubs around here that we get to play, uh, there is definitely that kind of network of people that continually show up to see whoever's playing. So it's almost like a family reunion every time you go somewhere. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, we haven't seen you, whatever, which is cool, you know. And but yeah, there is something about it. But yeah, get some vinyl cooking. Let us know. Yeah, put some
Yeah.
yeah. Start scratching out on some plastic and get it going. That would be
Yeah.
so awesome. That definitely would be some awesome stuff. So
Very cool.
when you guys, I know you got two different bands, but
Yeah.
is there um like when you're playing live, do you is there's like a visually, do you try to be kind of cohesive visually? You know what I'm saying? Not saying all dress exactly the same, but is there a theme that you try to have with either band actually?
Well, so I try to do a different outfit every performance. I try to change my hair every performance, and so
Hmm.
whenever both bands are playing together, I do a whole costume change and hairstyle change for show. Um, but again, because I feel like they both have a different vibe too,
Hmm.
and so I try to gear my outfits and my style to each one differently. And then the guys, yeah, the guys are working towards trying to match my theme. We love
Yeah.
to do, holiday theme shows. So like we have a Halloween show coming up this year, and of course we're gonna all dress up in Halloween costumes. We did a Christmas show last year, and we all dressed up in Christmas outfits. So we have a good time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's for me anyway, and it's not knocking anybody whatsoever, but visually, that's a big part of going to a show. Um, if you have guys up there with just different T-shirts and jeans and pro-ked sneakers, you're like, okay, and they're good. Don't get me wrong; they can be really, really good. But then you have a band that's dressed a certain way, no matter what it is. If you're country, country. If you're rock, you do your rock thing. If you're punk, you do whatever it is. It doesn't make a difference. But if you have some kind of theme or at least some kind of, cohesive look, it makes a big difference in how you come across to
Sure.
your audience. So that's why I kind of like to ask that question is, because obviously we've seen your stuff, so we know you guys got it. So we're not worried about that. So it's all good. But yeah, but it is, for having that visual stimulation, I suppose, and then the music as well, putting that together and making that work. Now you got something cooking here. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, mhm.
Well, they always say, dress for the job that you want, not the job you have. So that
Correct,
comes with it.
correct.
But again, with this journey, growing up in Branson and being a child performer, I don't think I ever really fully grasped how ingrained some of my experiences were as a child. Branson was real big and still does a really good job of honoring their veterans. So that was ingrained in me growing up here. Professionalism on the stage, because we had full production shows that I was doing,
Hmm.
twice a day, full costumes, all that stuff. And so that just has always been natural to me. I guess that's what the expectation is. um and so I remember my first show, I had my whole get up on or whatever, and I talked to one of the fans in the audience or whatever, and he asked me about the costume, and we kind of got talking. Or no, we kind of got talking, and that's when I told him that, I was a performer in Branson growing up, and he said, "Ah, that explains the outfit." But it's so true. And one of the things, especially being local in this area, I guess we've kind of picked up people describing our sound as Branson metal,
Branson
which
metal. There you go.
I
Yeah.
don't hate,
Well,
because I
yeah,
have
yeah.
such a fondness for Branson, but that's also the truth, because it's like, I am kind of Branson trained, so it fits for me.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, you might as well roll with it, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
you might as well just roll with it. Yep, yep, yep.
all I can do
So
is own myself,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's kind of
Yep.
like, well,
Might
you're
as well
you're
own it.
you're in it now. You got on the bus. You might as well just keep on riding that thing. So that's pretty cool.
Well,
That's
and I
definitely
think the
pretty
other
cool.
really great thing about music is that, it has a space literally for everyone.
Hmm. Hmm.
Somebody out there is going to love it. Somebody out there is going to relate to it. Somebody out there, and then the opposite, of course, can be true or will be true or whatever. It just comes with the
Sure.
territory. But that's what makes us amazing to begin with, is our diversity, because
Hmm.
we bring as a whole so much to the collective.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's definitely pretty cool and good. I think it's a good outlook, a good perspective to kind of proceed forward with. But yeah, I think you guys got some stuff going on. I mean, it's no doubt. And uh, yeah, yeah. Let me call Jelly Rolls. We get you on stage, no problem. like like I know somebody. See, that's a typical New Jersey thing. No problem. I know somebody. Call somebody. No, don't worry about it. It's all good. you know. Then everybody gets a sandwich. You want a sandwich? You got a sandwich for this guy? Get him a drink. That's Jersey. But no, seriously, if uh, get out to Nashville, we definitely would like to come and check it out, and
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
would be definitely kind of
I got
awesome.
friends
So
out there too. So,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
you were
so
out
it,
here,
it
so
really is something that we will do at some point.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Like I said, we're always out that way. We're about 2 hours down the highway, so that's nothing, and just a nice place to go hang out, raise a little hell, whatever, and the boss gets to do a little shopping and nice dinners. It's just we just go all the time, So I, I live, judging from your scene, from what I'm saying, I live on a farm, on top of a mountain, which is 180 out from how I grew up. I have
Yeah. Oh
no
yeah.
idea, not a clue. We have cattle. My neighbor, I was like, I don't know. I'm from New Jersey. What am I doing? I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Not a clue. But it is what it is, And but there's it allows me to, like I said, we have a nice quiet kind of life out here, and I get to go drive an hour and raise hell, and then come back to my nice little farm. I like that whole thing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's you can get into it, mix it up, and then run back to your house, and it's okay. We're back home now. The
Yep.
craziness is over for today. You know, but so yeah, yeah, it's a nice. For me, it worked out well. Living and working in the cities and right outside of New Orleans, where the craziness never stopped. To the situation I have now is like a 180,
Absolutely.
180 out.
Totally different life.
Yeah. Oh man, you just ain't kidding. Um, so, Henry, any last questions before we land the proverbial plane here?
Um, if people wanted to see your reels like on Facebook, where would they go?
So, we are also on all social media. You can find us on Instagram, Generations 417, and Cognition 417, and on Facebook under Generations and Cognition. I also have my personal Facebook. It's under Jenna Molds,
Hmm.
and then I also have a personal TikTok as well.
Awesome, awesome.
Wow.
When
So
those albums come out, you need to come back on so we can talk. We can
Yeah,
talk album
we can put
talk.
it out there. Yeah,
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 for sure, for
totally.
sure. So do you find that your reels, like say a minute, minute and a half or whatever, tend to do better if you look at your algorithms than say you know 15, 20 minute video, because people's attention span are so short.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
so like if you look at your reels or even some of the content that I put out, my minute and a half, 2 minute, even 45-second reels, 2,000 clicks here. It just people just seem to have that. They want to see it, but they're not going to hang out for too long.
Right. Yeah, they just want to that
That quick
quickness. So
thing,
if you don't get it right there at the beginning, you're probably gonna lose that interest.
you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. Yeah, and we had that here a little bit. We do have quite a few people, which I was actually not surprised, but I guess you could say that wow, I watched the whole show. And I'm like, and some of our shows go over an hour. I'm like,
Yeah.
really? You sat down for an hour and
Yep.
watched? I said, thank you. There's some people up in New York State. They watch every one of our shows and the whole thing. They have gatherings and just to watch some of our stuff. And we're like, wow, really? We
Yeah.
didn't, and the comments, we're so lucky to have people like that just watch everything that we do. So, like I said, you'll certainly be in good company. You can go on Rumble or even either of our Facebook pages, and you can see all the artists and people we've had on. And we're just really humbled by a lot of the people that we have had the opportunity to talk to. And now we're waiting on you to drop your album, so we're really excited. So this is going to be cool. Yeah,
Oh,
but we want to thank you very much for coming on and putting up with our zaniness a little bit. But we wish you guys great success, which I no doubt either both bands or one of them's going to go. It's so you got twice the shot as anybody else. You're working two bands here,
Right. Yeah.
and then you said also some of the musicians also playing in both bands, so it's kind of this whole cohesive thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Absolutely.
wow. So
And they all play
that's
different instruments too. So that's also why the music sounds differently, I'm sure too,
they
because
swap it
they
around.
play differently, Yeah.
Wow, wow. That is cool.
It is very cool.
That is so cool, man. I'm telling you. Well, again, thank you. I'll let Henry wrap up. Don't jump ship yet. When we stop recording, we'll wrap up
Okay.
after that. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having me, guys.
Oh, you're welcome. You
Anytime.
anytime. Anytime.
Anytime.
Just hit us up. Yeah.
It was our pleasure. It was our pleasure. Um, all right, guys, that's our show for this evening. Another extra special thanks for Gen X for taking time out and joining us. And with that, we will see you in the next video.